Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Tonight, we are continuing to read Animorphs number 10, The Android, by K.A. Applegate. And as always, this video is not intended for kids. This video instead is intended for adults who are discovering or rediscovering the joy that is Animorphs. Now, recently, the second season of The Umbrella Academy was released on Netflix. I caught up with the first season. Me and Revs watched the second season together, and throughout it all, Navi, one of my cockatiels, adored the show. Like, we would pause it. She would look back at us and squawk. If we talked during it, she would do the same thing. So tonight was the first night where there were no new Umbrella Academy episodes to watch, and she had been distraught last night when we had finished. And it was so sad when we ate dinner tonight because as we turned on a TV program, she turned she stuck out her neck all the way it could. She just looked like so sad because she looked at the TV like, this is Umbrella Academy, what's going on? And she looked towards us. It was so I can't wait until Umbrella Academy season 3 is out just so I don't see a sad Navi. Cocktails, all with their own personalities. Okay, now let's get to the sadness of the book. Her sad face is just going to haunt me for the next few weeks. Okay, let's get to this. It was a long drop. Ah! Ah! Wimp, wimp. We hit something hard. We bounced. We hit again. Whoop, whoop. You okay? Jake called down. Oh, yeah. I'm great, I said. I fell about 1,000,000,000 feet and landed on a steel trampoline. Couldn't be better. Sarcasm, Rachel commented coolly. It must be okay. Laugh now, Rachel. We'll see how much you laugh when it's your turn. The plan was for Axe and me to create a silk cable the others and Cockroach Morph would be able to climb down. That way, they wouldn't all have to go spider. Not that it would have helped. Anyway, we're coming down, Jake said. When we reach the end of the silk, we'll jump. If you two survived, we will. Nothing kills a cockroach. Why don't you stand right beneath me, Marco? Rachel suggested. You can break my fall. Axe and I scurried out of the way. A few seconds later, after they had clambered down to the end of our silk, whoop, 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 3 cockroaches landed nearby. Where are we? Jake asked. It's pretty dark. Who knows? I answered. It's a heating/air conditioning vent, I guess. Eric said it would be part of the furnace system. Supposedly, we go west 100 feet or so, then drop down, then go across the furnace, then down again, then right. Then we're at the edge of the high security room, where the real trouble starts. Excuse me? Did someone say furnace? Cassie asked. Yeah, I said furnace. Does it occur to any of you that the furnace might actually come on? Cassie said. Not till right this minute, I said. It's not very cold out, Rachel pointed out. Okay, I've seriously changed my mind, I said. Let's go home. Of course, no one listened to me. We scrambled along the steel floor, 2 spiders and 3 cockroaches. Our rough claws seemed to make a horrible din on the metal, scuffing and scratching. But it probably wouldn't have sounded like anything to a human. As we ran, there was more and more dust on the floor of the vent. It was weird, like walking through dried leaves. My 8 legs kicked through it, and it swirled behind me as I passed. Eventually, the dust became as thick as a carpet, although in reality, it was probably no more than a few millimeters thick. Every 10 feet or so, there would be a grilled opening. Through the massive upright bars, I could see offices. The light in the offices was very dim, just the glow of computer screensavers and red or green function lights. But it helped us to find our way through the darkness of the vent. Then, what's that? Rachel yelled. She was the farthest back. Oh, something's coming. I feel the vibrations. Something big. She took off. I took off. We all took off. Now I could feel the vibrations too. Quick, confused sounding footsteps and a dragging sound like something was being hauled. I ran. To my left, another spider. The axe ahead of me, 2 roaches almost as big as I was. Rachel was just back to my right. I couldn't exactly turn and glance over my shoulder. I had no shoulder, and I had no actual head to turn. So I paused, spun around, and in the dim light from a vent, I saw it. Huge, 20 times my size, a vast, horrible menace. A rat! I yelled. It's a rat! The thing I'd heard dragging was its naked tail and furred abdomen. It was hungry, and it was after us. And unfortunately, it was faster than me. Go, 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 it's gaining! I yelled. We blew at top spider and cockroach speed, which seems really fast when you're an inch long, but isn't really that many miles per hour. A rat can do maybe 5 or 6 miles per hour. A spider is lucky to break 1 mile per hour. We'll have to morph back, Jake said. Not in here, Cassie cried. Not enough room. Next vent, Jake said. We go out through the next vent. The next vent was about 10 feet away. I couldn't turn around to look at the rat, but every hair on my spider body told me it was just inches behind me. Yet there was something else making my hair tingle, too. Something about the breeze. Yeah! I heard Jake yell. A split second later, my spider legs were clawing air. It was like a Roadrunner cartoon. I zoomed out into space, seemed to hang there with my little feet motoring away, and then I fell. Oh, yes. Axe said calmly. Eric mentioned we had to go down again. Wham, 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 wham. We hit steel again, and each impact sent dust clouds swirling. Keep running, Cassie cried, and fortunately, for once, I didn't argue. Boom, boom! The rat dropped behind us. It was still after us. Fortunately, it was a little stunned by the impact, whereas we were out of there. Suddenly, ahead of us, the steel floor opened up again, but instead of a drop into darkness, there was a weird, vast plain of jagged spires. Each of the spires was steel, 3 times as tall as my little spider body. Each metal spire opened at the top. There were hundreds of them, all arranged in perfect rows. A foul smell, something my spider mind knew nothing about, came from this field of spires. A weird, flickering glow lit the landscape. In the eerie light, it looked like some awful graveyard, with the spires like industrial strength gravestones or something. I mean, it was creepy. What is this? I asked. Let's just get going, all right? Rachel suggested. We can sightsee some other time. I would never have walked into that field if the rat hadn't been just 2 feet back and gaining again. I didn't need spider senses to know there was danger here. It screamed danger. I stuck out one spider leg and touched the top of the nearest spire, then another and another. I walked from spire to spire, carefully, cautiously. The cockroaches crawled and squirmed through the valleys between spires. Unable to stand normally, they had to drag themselves inch by inch. Oh, what is this? I asked again. You don't want to know, Jake said grimly. Let's just get out of here, okay? Right then, it hit me from the tone of Jake's thought-speak voice. Oh, man, this is the furnace, isn't it? These spires, the holes on tops, the, the, the holes in the tops of them is where the gas comes out. Not if no one turns on the heat, Rachel said grimly. Over my head now, I saw the source of the eerie glow. It was the pilot light. It was a jet of blue flame as long as my body. I could feel the heat from it, even though it seemed to be as far above my head as the ceiling of a cathedral. The rat, smarter than we were, decided to stop at the edge of the furnace. But there was no going back. We had to cross the furnace. We had to hope the Madcom Corporation was into energy conservation and didn't waste heat. We had to pray that no one had messed with the thermostat. Because if the heater came on, gas! The gas blew with hurricane force up through the tops of the spires. In seconds, the gas would rise to the pilot light. In seconds, the entire landscape would erupt in flame. I thought I'd been moving as fast as I could move. I was wrong. I had a whole extra speed. Ahead of me, I saw Jake, Rachel, and Axe all reach safety. Only Cassie and I were still deadly inches away from safety. Run, 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 run! Hiss. Then, whoosh, whoosh. The whole world seemed to explode around me, a wall of flame, a hurricane of hot air. I was blown head over heels, somersaulting through the air as hot as an oven. And I'll leave you at that cliffhanger because that's the end of tonight's chapter. Yeah, that was cliffhanger. I'm sorry, I couldn't come up with like a pun for, nearly burning to death in a furnace. Yeah. Makes you sort of think about using the thermostat now, doesn't it? Like because imagine this. You turning on the thermostat could kill an Animorph. And maybe I can be a little joking about this because, one, they're fictional characters, and two, I live in Florida and we hardly use the heat. We'll use, AC all the time because it's humid and it's hot here. And so we always have the AC turned on, unless the AC broke like it did for earlier this year. That was fun times. So yeah. This is I think one of these things in Animorphs, if said out of context, it seems a little funny. It's like, oh, our heroes are two spiders and arachnid being chased by a rat and they nearly burn alive in a furnace. I mean, it's not really a spoiler to say that Cassie and Marco survive. I mean, they're the main characters. Of course they're not going to die. So it's like, plus even if they were going to die, they wouldn't die in book 10. Come on. It would have to be near the end of the series for, any death. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just bullshitting. I just imagine someone who hasn't read the whole series getting frightened by that. I hold so much power. Yeah, but so it's sort of silly if you just say it out of context, but in context, this is really scary. I mean, you really care for these characters, so this sort of odd situation has a lot of depth to it. Because so you care about the characters, and this whole situation doesn't seem that far-fetched. And when I write myself, I try to focus on the characters, humanizing the characters, so that no matter what odd shit I do, there's always going to be this little tie to reality that you'll care for them. And so any situation I think is easier to get through. And I think that's how this situation works, because you say it out of context, it's odd. And I just focusing on being chased by a rat. And then, like, it's not just bad enough they're chased by a rat, but then it's like, oh, we solved one problem and we're out of the vent and into the heating unit. Yeah. Oh, God. And okay, the final thing I'll mention about this chapter is that head over heels. Like, usually that's something said in a romantic sense. You're head over heels for this person. But in this case, it's literally head over heels. And it's not a romantic. There's no romance there. Okay. So, my question for today is probably not going to be one of the most exciting or thought-provoking questions, but it will be a question of how much do you use the heater where you live? No. Since I talked about living in Florida and how I don't use the heater, I'm like, hey, let's throw that out as a question. And also comment down below with anything else you noticed about this chapter. I am hoping against... Okay, I'd like jumped a few sentences into the future. Okay, let's go back to where I was. Let's do things in a linear manner. And also, feel free to comment down below with anything else you notice about this chapter. And remember, no major spoilers, because I am hoping against hope that people discover the Animorphs series through this video, through my video. So, there's some huge twists and turns coming that newcomers should not be spoiled. Like, these are some twists and turns you should encounter without knowing you're about to encounter them. And if you listen to this video and you were actually interested in reading Animorphs number 10, everywhere I post this video, I post a link to where you can buy your very own copy. I read mine Kindle. This is easiest for me to deal with, but you can buy it used through this link, so check it out. Read this book and check out the other Animorphs books too. They're awesome, except for number 28 and number 37. Unfortunately, number 28 does have some plot points for the rest of the series, but we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. Okay, and please like this video if you would never like to be chased by a giant rat. Like, if you don't want to be chased by a giant rat, please like this video. I'm going to be very concerned if this video does not give you, thumbs up. I'm going to be very concerned for all of you. And also, subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I will be reading not just Animorphs number 10, but the entire Animorphs series. And the series is so awesome, so you don't want to miss this thing, so please subscribe. And finally, God, I don't know what I was doing. I was like trying to do that, then I was trying to do about 3 or 4 things at once there. But anyways, I hope you are all having a good start to your week. That this week promises good things for you and nothing bad. And you can do this. You can get through this week. And it's okay if you forgot what day of the week it is, because due to quarantine, we're all forgetting the days of the week. So, except for me. Like, for me, these videos are the only thing that's making me remember what day of the week it is. If I did not do these videos, I would be totally lost. And until next video, goodbye.